Welcome back to the Out of the Rough podcast presented by Wyndham Fantasy. As always, my name is Nate with Wyndham Fantasy, and joining me as always is my co-host Jake. Jake, how are we doing today?
We're doing pretty good, Nate. Doing pretty good. Entertaining tournament last week. I had Jake Knapp. Kurt Kitayama like stole the show over the weekend. You absolutely just have to tip your cap to him because of how nuclear he went. I think it was like 17 birdies and two bogeys over the weekend, or like some ridiculous stat. Don't quote me on it, but he just he took that tournament. It was a little shaky towards the end. I thought there was a little opening. Some drama on 17 and 18 as the wind started to pick up. There was some room for error. Kitayama missed a 4-foot bogey, but just before that, Jake Knapp dumped one in the water on 18. And Sam Stevens also, I believe, parred 18 when he had a chance to, make some magic there as well. But congrats to Kurt Kitayama. Made a ton of sense, right? Distance off the tee, approach play. And we've seen crappy putters win there before, and that is exactly the Kurt Kitayama mold. Nate, you brought it up in the Discord, and I'm in the same boat here where he just pops week in and week out because of how good he hits the ball. And it's just a pass because it just doesn't seem to get over the finish line enough times. And for me, I'm happy to tip my cap to him when it happens. So congrats to Kurt.
What is he now? A two-time winner of the PGA Tour? He won what
Yep.
the API and
Yep. Last year, I believe.
last year was it? No, I think Scotty
Sorry,
won
I'm
last year, did he not?
oh right, I'm
Maybe it
pulling it
was
up.
2023 he won it.
Yep, 2023.
But yeah, same thing. He pops often because he's a very good ball striker. And I just always glance over him because I'm like, there's no inequity here. And he always just seems to be short too, like just randomly 45 to 1, 40 to 1. I'm like, there's not much there. And that's what happens. He goes on to win eventually, but that weekend was nuclear. Not much golf I've consumed the last 2 weeks because I've been showing sheep. I've been having living my best life doing that. So I haven't even the Open, I never really got into it. I didn't have anyone in really contention, and Scotty Scheffler just dominated that as he does with everything now, and then goes on record. I wasn't on the show last week to talk about it, but goes on record basically like this is boring now.
Yeah.
I'm too good at this. Someone make it fun. And it's really a wild concept to be 29 years old, win your third major, and be like, this is no one's competing with me. This is boring. But man, has a chance to complete the career Grand Slam on his 30th birthday, essentially. I think the math adds up where the Sunday of the U.S. Open next year is his 30th birthday and Father's Day. So just put all your money, whatever you get, free play U.S. Open next year. Scotty Scheffler wins that event by a touchdown. Can we do like alt lines? Like on football, where you can do like
Seriously.
the opens at 1.5. Can you do like an alt line of Scotty Scheffler to win, not only win outright, but an alt line to win by 2.5 or something like that? Like,
Books should start to offer that
yeah, why
because I
not?
think people would take it. And like when Scotty wins in dominant fashion, it usually is by like five, six,
Yeah.
7, 8 strokes. So like if you think he's gonna win and it's an unbettable number, maybe you just lay the juice on a spread on him.
Yeah, I mean, if he opens at 3.5 to 1, right, 72, and like I can't play this, but then you can alt spread to he wins by 3.5 or less than or more than, like that'd be a cool concept. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
it's plausible or anything. I'm sure it's not because books probably would have done it by now. But how do we patent things or copyright things, Jake? Do we just say it aloud? Do we? I think
How
we
about
just
how about a book sponsors us and we'll give them the
yeah,
right
you
to
can
that
have you
idea.
can have that right idea. There we go. There we go. We're speaking it. If there's any lawyers out there, please get a hold of us. We need to copyright that idea. Anyhow. Yeah, beyond that, we move forward. Final event of the regular season. We talk about it often, Jake, throughout this season, this podcast. We talk about, oh, it's already May, it's already June, the Masters already here, US Open's already here, and now we're at the final event of the regular season, just 4 events left in the season beyond this, or including this, excuse me. Playoffs next week. A lot of great golf. Now, is this year where the PGA Championship where they're not doing the um alternate start, or is that next year?
I feel like it was next year, but don't quote me on it.
Where they,
Uh,
in the PJ, the championship, where they, not PJ championship, the
no,
FedEx Cup playoff finals, whatever the title is, tour championship, excuse me, that's what I'm going for. They do like staggered start with like placement with, Scotty Scheffler will start at -10, which is stupid because he's going to win by 300. But yeah, then Rory will be -8, and so on from there. But they're getting rid of it. I know it's either this year or next year they're getting rid of that, where it's going to be an even playing field, which I don't
it's
know.
this year per
Yeah,
Google.
so I mean, for like a pure betting standpoint, like usually we get to that event and you can't really bet it because the top guy usually has such an advantage, or it's usually someone in the top five wins it. So you have a four or five guys.
Yep.
I don't like that it's taken away the whole season aspect of like, what's the point of it, right? I mean, beyond getting to that point and being a top 30, but like, what's the point of the standings if you're not going to do anything with it
Right.
and not give an advantage to Scotty Scheffler, who absolutely dominated things, wins two majors, five events, and then there's no advantage to it, and then he loses the tour championship, which is the biggest purse, right? That's it doesn't make sense to me to get away. I mean, I think there's ways to like fine tune it where it's not such an advantage. Maybe do like, starts at -5 and like two guys at -4, three at -3, four at -1, like something like that.
Yeah.
Copywriting that as well. But
Reach
but
out to us.
yes, come on, PGA Tour, sponsor us, and you can have that idea you too. But that's right around the corner, what I'm trying to get at. So a lot of golf to talk about yet, but Wyndham Championship this week, Jake. We've been on a tangent here for probably 10 minutes already. So where people find you on social media?
Yep, you can find me at DJ Freeman on Twitter. My outright card is already posted there, but be sure to join our Discord, completely free for some of that content and exclusive content. Nate posts his first round leaders, other tour bets, everything there. I post my matchup plays that have been rather successful this season. I'll definitely post a couple in the group this week, so be sure to join completely free. Nate keeps up with the community wager tracker, which is just awesome. Everyone posts their plays, and we challenge Nate to see at the last minute how quickly he can get them all up so that we could see them at the same time. But it's really cool at the end of the week. You get to see, who was on which player and all that fun jazz. We had two people on Kurt Kitayama last week, so there are winners being hit in our group, even though it's not Nate and myself. We're happy to see, some people in the group feasting on just, good conversations and information put in there. So again, be sure to join completely free, no hidden paywalls, some additional content for other sports like NASCAR and soccer. So if you're interested in that, be sure to hit us up and we'll give you the link.
Yeah, I'm playing in a EPL fantasy league this year, and I don't know much about the EPL. I'm a Bundesliga guy, so if you want to hop in there and give me some information, my draft starts soon, August sometime. So please hop in the Discord and hit that soccer chat up and football chat. And give me some tips, please, because all I know, I first pick. So Erling Haaland's coming to my team no matter what. That's done deal. Big Erling Haaland guys, Borussia Dortmund fan. Either way, yeah, be sure to check out that Discord. That's where I put my first round leaders exclusive. And the first round leader king himself, Jim C, gave me a shout out for whatever reason, for claiming I'm a good first round leader better for whatever reason. So yeah, I guess there's a little credibility there. So another incentive to join the Discord. I mean, all jokes aside, they have been successful this year. I've made just about as much money on the first round leaders as I have in the outright market this year. So be sure to check that out. Beyond that, a lot of great information in there, and simply for just looking for a place that like compiles everything without having to wait for sort through tweets, wait for it to hit your what's it called, your for you page, is that what it, even in Twitter,
Yeah.
whatever, your feed, that's what I'm looking for. Just check out the Discord because I post like all the articles and the podcasts and all the information and news, and all of that's on there. Our betting cards, I post them before I post the articles. The first thing when I place the bets, you do too as well, Jake. So everything's
Yep.
just compiled there. So hop on there. We're getting close to 300 people. It's a great community, guys. I can't emphasize that enough. I know Jake talks about it and we talk about it each and every week, but man, it's a great tool. It's like grown beyond my imagination when we started that like a year and a half
Yeah.
ago, Jake. Like it's insane how big it is and how active it still is week in and week out. So it's real fun, guys. So make sure you check that out. You can follow myself, Nate, on Twitter at WKF Nate. Be sure to follow We Know Fantasy on all of social media at We Know Fantasy. Be sure to visit WeKnowFantasy.com for some more fantasy sports content. Visit baseball, basketball, football, NASCAR, golf, and in between. We have you covered. Football's right around the corner. I'll try my best to get football content up. I say that, and I do a week or a month's worth, and then I fall off. But if you're into fantasy football, looking for a place to post your work, your waiver wire articles, anything like that, reach out. WeKnowFantasy.com would love to have you. And yeah, on there you can find my Out of the Rough Golf Betting article series where I really go into each depth each and every week of the PJ Tour, DP World Tour, LPGA majors. For the DFS side of things, if you're looking for that still, that is on those articles for the PGA Tour. Additionally, we have Titanic Gambler now doing LPGA content for us on WeKnowFans.com. As Craig's taking a bit of a hiatus, we still have Andrew All Tour Golf Bets doing Corn Ferry Tour and Challenge Tour stuff on there. Speaking of that, we had a chance there with, I'm gonna mess his name up. It's Kensei Hirata or
Hmm.
whatever.
I think you nailed
Close.
it.
Man, look at that. I'm getting cultured. With a third place finish, like Johnny Kiefer almost threw that event away. He came down to earth. He had a big lead, came down to earth. I think Hirata got within one, and then Kiefer pulled away at the end and took that event. I mean, he's an elite talent. He's going to be on the PGA Tour in no time and probably competing for some victories there. Uh, but yeah, I mean, he's getting close. I mean, he does like 2 or 3 man cards, and he's constantly in contention. So, I mean, it's so hard to do these, especially the Hotel Planet Tour, the Corn Ferry Tour, so volatile, so little information about these golf courses they play. So great work by Andrew and everyone of the We Know Fantasy team. Couldn't be more proud of what we're building here. But all right, Jake, let's talk some Wyndham Championship here. Again, final event of the regular season. Move to the playoffs next week. We're here at Sedgefield Country Club. The event was established in 1938 as the Greater Greensboro Open. It's been a staple of the PGA Tour schedule for the past 87 years. Been held at Sedgefield since 2008. Beyond that, we're looking for the top 70 golfers of the FedEx Cup standing season long to make next week's FedEx St. Jude Championship field. From there, the top 50 to the BMW Championship, and ultimately the top 30 to the PGA Championship. So a lot to play for. And beyond that, guys, not only the PGA Tour Championship, but at the end of this week, those within the top 100 of the FedEx Cup standings will secure the PGA Tour card for next season. It used to be 125, it's 100 now. So a lot of big names, a lot of household names are outside of that top 100 looking to play themselves in. We'll talk about a few of those guys here in a second. And of course, there are ways, the Q School and the fall series, and there's ways to get back in here, but we're looking at the top 100 at the end of this week. This week's field is headlined by none other than Keegan Bradley, highest ranked golfer with the OWGR at 7th. Again, I think he's just really looking for a no doubt reason to have himself on that team. I don't know if he can possibly, without winning one of the final, not this week, but one of the final 3 events, to get one of those top 6 spots. I think it may be out of reach outside of a victory. So I think he's just trying to, if he wins this week, I don't think anyone will ever doubt him picking himself, even if he's 7th or 8th on that list. So I think that's really what he's going for, because there's really no reason for Keegan Bradley to play this event, and really hasn't played this event in the past. So there's something to watch there. He'll
I
be
think he
joined
might be
by,
doing some last minute scouting, right? Like
I
maybe
mean,
he's
that could be
gonna,
an aspect of things too.
yeah, with like Spieth, Ben Griffin, like some of these guys, like to you or me, might seem like obvious or not obvious picks, but like he might just be out there. PGA Tour might pair him up with some of these guys that he's like, hey, I want to get a last minute glimpse and talk to these guys for 2 rounds.
Yeah, I've never really thought about that because I'm blanking. The England coach, or not England, the Europe coach,
Luke Donald?
Luke Donald. Last cycle, he did that a ton of times throughout the European swing, or the back nine, I think they call it, on the DP World Tour, where he just played events, random events, the British Masters and all of this to get some scouting in. So I think very good point there, Jake. Definitely could be doing that. We'll check out tee times. It may even be out right now, or tomorrow morning possibly, to see if that is the chance. But joined by Matsuyama, Robert McIntyre, Ben Griffin, Sanjay Im, Andrew Novak, Ryan Fox, and Aaron Rai, golfers ranked in the top 35 of the OWGR playing this week. Heading into this week, Emiliano Grillo, 66th, Cam Davis, 67th, Patrick Rogers, 68th, Benyon Hanyan, 69th, and Matty Schmidt is 70th. Looking for that top 70 for next week's field. And then beyond that, Nikolai Hogard, Keith Mitchell, Chris Kirk, Christian Bezenut, and Gary Woodland are the first 5 out currently of the top 70. Let's take a look at that 100 number. The top 100: Bo Hostler, 96, Billy Horschel, 97. He's injured. We'll have an exemption next year because of that, so you can probably skip over that guy. Mark Hubbard, 98, Max McGreevy, 99th, and Isaiah Salinda is 100th. First 5 in. All playing this week except Billy Horschel, who's recovering from that hip surgery. And then Joel Damon himself is 101. We have Lee Hodges, 102, Rico Hoyo, 103, Austin Eckroat, 104, and Jesper Svensson is 105. Those first 5 out. Every one of those guys fighting for their PGA lives for next season. Aaron Rai, defending champion. I think were you on him last year here, Jake?
I don't think I was, but
He was one of my few winners last year here. Uh, Held off Max Graceman by 2 strokes to claim his maiden PGA Tour victory. And we'll talk about this course here in a second. But if Aaron Rai is winning this event, you know exactly what you need to win here at Sedgefield. Other former winners, you have Lucas Glover in 23, Tom Kim 22, Kevin Kistner 21, Jim Herman 20, JT Post in 19, Brandt Snedeker in 2007 and 2018, Siwoo Kim in 2016, Camilo Villegas 2014, and Webb Simpson in 2011. If that says anything, you just need premier ball striking, and you don't even need a putter to win this event. Every one of those guys I just listed very bad putters, very bad putters. So it's not you don't really need a hot flat stick this week. Sedgefield Country Club plays a par 70 at 7,131 yards, placing it below average in terms of length. Features a standard mix of two par fives, four par threes, and 12 par fours. Prototypical short positional golf course on the PGA Tour. The course is set in a way to reward those who are accurate off the tee and calls for a repeated dosage of wedges and mid iron approaches. The unique aspect of this week's track comes with a heavy concentration of short par fours. 8 of the 12 par fours measure between 400 and 450 yards. 30% of all approach shots will come from 150 to 175. Beyond the par four, Sedgefield also features two very reachable par fives and two short par threes that measure under 175 yards. Those four holes must be taken advantage of this week for any eventful winner. You'll need the greens of this. It's a Donald Ross design. Bermuda, don't talked about it already. Don't really need to be a premier putter this week. I mean, you're going to need to make some putts. This is really positional, mid iron approach golf course. Beyond that, course history is repeatable here due to like any short positional golf course. Know where you need to be on the fairways, where you need to land the greens, all of that. It's your prototypical short golf course. Look at like the Heritage, RBC Heritage, a good comp course, things like that. But beyond that, come with strong approach play, great ball striking. Make sure you find the fairways, and that's basically it. Anything to add here, Jake?
No, I think you covered it.
All right, hopping in here to our picks this week. I know we each have six. I think there's a mention of a few crossover, Jake. So I'll kick things off here. I'm gonna go with Robert McIntyre at 33 to 1. Just a good number for a guy that, you know, maybe not the best of form, but I mean, seventh at the Open, 65th at the Genesis Scottish Open, 17th at the Travelers, second at the US Open. Look at that. Seventh at the Open, second at the US Open, 36th in Canada, 20th in Memorial, and sixth at the Charles Schwab. Missed the cut at this event a season ago and played 65th in 2021. So not a ton of course history, but have played two events here as well. Currently 17th on tour and proximate hole from 150 to 175, 29th on approach, 33rd green regulation, 36th off the tee, 30th ball striking. The list goes on and on here for Robert McIntyre, 33 to 1. I like the odds here for a guy that, man, Robert McIntyre can win any event he steps his foot on. He's going to be a major champion at some point in his career. He's kind of maturing into a superstar very quietly. It's not like he's brash and in your face. It's just very quietly coming through as one of, the European stars of the future. And it's cool to see a Scotsman doing so, right? It's usually coming from that side of the world, the Englishman dominating the sport. But again, the sport was developed and founded in Scotland. So it's really cool to see another, since like Colin Montgomery to see a elite talent come from Scotland, excuse me. But that's beyond the point. Everything you need this week, he matches up very well. And I think 33 is a fantastic number in this field for Robert McIntyre, who, in my opinion, is a cream of the crop.
Yeah, like you said, you're getting a pretty big number on who I would also consider like a top three player in this field, I would say, even top five if you want to stretch it.
Yep.
But like you said, I mean, you kind of alluded, like it's kind of been like a weird stretch for Robert McIntyre. We haven't seen him since the Open Championship, but like he's had a really good stretch compared to the rest of this field. And like he's a very, very good short game player. He's pretty accurate off the tee, all things considered, and has great irons. So I love the call there. I decided to go a little bit of a different route up top, but I was heavily considering McIntyre, and I might have some FOMO.
Yeah, you're kind of the McIntyre guy at this point, Jake. You've been on a lot. I'm quickly becoming a McIntyre guy. Like, love to see his game, how he's playing. Currently 15th in the OW or the FedEx Cup standing. So it's not like he has his playing for his life. So, we're gonna talk about, I'm sure you are as well as myself, gonna talk about guys at the cups of numbers and needed big weeks to get themselves into the fields or PJ Tour cards and add an incentive. Robert McIntyre can come in this week and just play free,
Yep.
right? And I think that's a big boost as well with instead of having added pressure of, oh, I have to win this event to play next week, or I have to win this event to have a card next year. Like just coming here 15th in the FedEx Cup standing, just free and easy, have some good rounds put together. And again, a big number for a guy that you mentioned at top three. If you're going to stretch a top five in this field,
Yeah, I agree.
there we go. So where's your play at the top of this board then, Jake?
Yeah, I'm starting with last year's winner, Aaron Rye. It is so rare to go and out and defend. I know that, and that's the big criticism against Rye. But all things considered, when I was talking myself into and out of players, the only thing that really steered me away from Rye was that he won this event last year. I know the form has been dicey, but I'm not even scared of that because the underlying numbers for Rye have been very, very solid. On the PGA Tour this season, 36 in strokes gained total, 22nd in strokes gained off the tee. You heard that. He is very short off the tee, and that usually means that you get crushed in the ranking. But he is so accurate. He hits every freaking fairway that he's ranked 22nd in off the tee, which is huge. 57th on approach, which is great. 64th around the green, and then 108th putting. He won this event last year. He's very comfortable here. The two appearances before this, not so great. But again, leading into the season, he smacks fairways like no others. The irons could get super hot. And when the putter turns green for Rye, it usually is very good. He's very solid around the greens, definitely above tour average. And then with the putter, he's gained in two of his last three. I saw a 30 to 1 next to his name and couldn't pass it up. That was my threshold on him. So if you're seeing lower than him now, I'd probably pass. But I thought 30 was just big enough for me to not, I couldn't pass that up.
Yeah, and if you were to build a golfer for this event, it's Aaron Rai. Look at the premier talents of repeated success here at this golf course. It's Russell Henley who has gone 2.579 from 2022, or excuse me, 2023 to 2020. And Aaron Rai plays a very similar game. They find every fairway, they have strong approach plays and good around the green play if they need to scramble, but the knock on all those guys are the putter, and you don't need a strong putter to win this event in golf course. And Aaron Rai is the prime example of that. I think he was at 35 or 40 last year when he won for the most part. So a similar number for a guy who won this event last year. We talked about course history and repeatable course history as well. Has that, of course. And yeah, just very quietly have a good season as well. It's not like he's missing cuts left and right and being 71st. He's having some good success. And again, a guy built for this type of golf course.
Yep.
All right, let's keep it rolling here. I should be more ready than this, but I'm really not. And I should have my card memorized, shouldn't I? All right, I'm going with Michael Thorbornson. Now I know we both betted on last week. Were you on him last week? Or we're
Yeah.
talking about, yes, 3M Open and just missed the cut and almost dead last. And there was a tweet, I think you
Oh,
shared it, right? And it was like, if you are 7 strokes behind Kevin Kistner on the first nine of the 3M Open, you can't have a nickname of Thor. And rightfully so. But like Jake likes to do, let's take a bad event, throw it out the window, and take a look at what he offers this week. So Gator Sports Betting, this is at Gator Betting on X, posted a tweet about each of the past four winners of this event placed T8th or better at the Rocket Classic in the same season. Michael Thorbortson fits that mold. He was what was he? He was fourth in Detroit. He also missed the cut last week of the 3M Open. We talked about that already. 14th at ESCO, 21st at John Deere. Played this event a season ago, missed the cut. Currently third on tour in ball strike. He's 10th birdie or better, 11th in green regulations. He's 15th off the tee, 41st in par fours, 67th in driving accuracy. So he finds the fairways. 83rd in bogey avoidance, 96 in strokes gained putting Bermuda, 21st on approach. Quick plug, real quick. If you're looking for strokes gain putting data per grass type, WeKnowFans.com. It's free. It's updated each and every week. Be sure to check it out, guys. It's a great tool. Appreciate Jake shouting me out last week. Listen to the podcast. He gave me a good shout out about that. And again, I use that tool all the time if I'm looking for two golfers. Can't figure out who I'm going to use, and then I look at what the grass type is, load that, and there's a guy who is a much better putter on Bermuda, Boa, or Poa, Fescue, whatever the grass type is. We have it on WeKnowFans.com. So be sure to check it out, guys. It's right there. And I developed it for my own use, but I was like, hey, might as well post it for everyone else to use. So, guys, be sure to check that out. Anyways, he's currently 87th in the FedEx Cup standings as well, so essentially needs a victory this week to play himself into the field. He was one of those guys last year. Was he the PGAU graduate last year? Is that how he got his card?
last year, he came straight from college, so I
So he had
believe
to, yeah,
so.
there's no other way unless you are
Yeah.
the PGA Tour U. So like we've seen, I think Kevin Yu was the first one to get it. Ludwig Alberg was one who got it. Michael Thorvordson, and then I mean someone like Nick Dunlap who won twice got it, but it wasn't through that way. But anyways, yes, he was a guy that through that route they draw a lot of hype, a lot of buzz along the way because they're the number one amateur golfer in the college rankings, moving themselves through. And I remember people bet him out of the gate. Same thing with like Ludwig at like 20 to 1 in events. Either way, very elite talent. We haven't seen him win on the PGA Tour yet, but he's 66 to 1. He has a ton of flashes, and he's a kind of a hit or miss golfer. He's going to miss the cut like he did last week by 7 strokes, or he's going to compete in deep into Sunday. I think after what we saw at the 3M, he's going to come out. I think he plays a good game, and it's not like he's not one you think of to compete at a golf event or a course like this. But quietly, those numbers and those stats do match up. I really like what we're getting here at a 66 to 1 for Michael Thorbornson.
Yeah, if you look at last year, and you mentioned it, Gracerman lost to Rye by two, and I feel like Thorbjornsen totally fits in that Gracerman mold coming into this week. And Nate, you do my favorite thing. You throw last week out and you look at what he's done over the past couple months here, and it's really impressive, just strokes gained data, hitting the ball really long and straight. It makes sense to me, right? You're kind of calling your Gracerman shot at a course where you need to be extremely accurate and have great approach play. I think Thor Bjornsson definitely could fit that alt molds that, we've seen have success here.
For sure. And like you said, there's always a set formula to win at XYZ golf course,
Yep.
an event. And then I'd argue 70% of the time that exact mold doesn't win the golf event, right?
Yep.
It's not Aaron Rye one, he fits this exactly, right? You look at before that, Lucas Glover, all right, he fits it perfectly too. Tom Kim doesn't fit it perfectly, but like same thing. This course may be a bad example for that because Tom Kim does for this course exactly too. But um, yeah, it's
We say it all the time though. Like you have these accuracy guys come out on these bomber courses and
yes,
and play well and win. Like you just don't know how it's going to play that week. And it is good to kind of hedge yourself. Like have a guy who fits the mold, but like at the same time, he's in great form. He's doing everything right except for last week. It makes a lot of sense.
yeah. It's not like he's 140th in accuracy. He's 67th, so he's still finding the fairway. And
Right.
while doing so, we'll have plus distance on the Aaron Rise, the world, and the short positional plotters around this golf course. So there's an edge there with elite ball striking. I really like this play.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you.
All right, so who's your next guy here, Jake?
You alluded to my next guy. I'm going back-to-back winners at this event. Lucas Glover. Uh, I'm shocked that he's not number one on the tips chart.
Oh, it's same.
But I mean, anyway, I'm shocked that Nico Echeverria is. We talked about it before the pod. But anyway, Lucas Glover coming in on some just awesome form, right? T9 at the Travelers, T5 at the John Deere, T23 at the Open Championship. Haven't seen him in a couple weeks, not a problem. He smacks fairways. He's an elite iron player. And the last two times we've seen him, he's gained with both the putter and around the green, which is super important. When Lucas Glover starts putting well, it could rain putts for him. And we've seen it last year, Nate. You were the big beneficiary of it on the Open and at this tournament 2 years ago, sorry. But I mean, Glover, I know he might be an old buck, but listen to his season stats here. 33rd in strokes gained total, 72nd off the tee, which is solely derived on his lack of distance. He's very accurate. 21st on approach, 39th around the greens, and then 140th putting. It, he has these lead-in forms. We saw it a couple years ago. He won this event obviously in 2023, but he's played this event all the way back to 2008, and he has a bunch of top 25 finishes in there as well. So good course history in some good lead-up form. 40 to 1. I was happy to take Glover.
I mean, I have a soft spot for Lucas Glover. 2023, it was Brian Harmon who won the Open at 120 to 1. And 2 weeks later, I hit
Yep.
Lucas Glover 110 to 1 at the Wyndham, and I should have went back to back because he won the following week at the FedEx St. Jude Championship as well. But that's it. That 4 week stretch from let's see, I think it started with the 3M Open for Lucas Glover. The putter turned into a weapon randomly. And there's something to Lucas Glover because he's been on the PGA Tour for 20 plus years now, and he's always been like the worst putter on the tour. So that's how elite his ball striking and approach play has been for that long to maintain a card while being that bad at putting. But it was the switch to the broom style. I think it's so called. It's not belly putters or whatever it is. That switch in 2023 but getting to 2023 really changed things for him. And we've seen him. We've seen him throughout the season. He's constantly on leaderboards. I mean, I think even like going back to like Pebble Beach, he was in like contention, like just random events. Lucas Glover's always in contention. Again, he won this event. He is the exact mold of winning this event, and he's the type of guy that could come out here and win this event again. And a bit of FOMO because he pops on my model, and I hit him 2 years ago. Why not go back there? But man, it can't fault you for doing something like that.
Yeah.
All right. So beyond that, we move forward to my next play, and that's probably another mistake, and that's Davis Thompson, who I can't seem to get off of at 70-1. Love Davis Thompson. I love his game. Last year, winner at the John Deere. So yeah, Davis Thompson, 13th on tour in proximity to the hole from 150 to 175, 21st and off the tee, 23rd in ball striking, 34th, excuse me, birdie or better, 42nd proximity to 100, 150, 53rd green relations. He's 85th on a par fours, 87th on approach, and 110th instruction putting Bermuda. Missed the cut in back-to-back weeks coming into this. 18th at John Deere, 34th at Rocky Classic, 25th at Travelers. 12th here a season ago, 22nd, 2023, Mystica 2021. So some good standings there. 12th last year, 22nd, 2023. Played this golf course rather well. 78th in the FedEx Cup standing. So again, needs a win essentially to play himself into the field. But man, I am such a David Thompson truther. When he won last year, I was all aboard with David Thompson breakout, potential superstar status, former number one amateur in the world, a fantastic talent, great golfer coming from the University of Georgia, who's produced so much PGA Tour talent over the years. Our friend Keith Fleming would love to hear that. Friend of the pod, Keith Fleming. And yeah, dude, I just love this kid. I think there's gonna be more. I really do believe there's superstar potential. A bit of a sophomore slump. I know he's been around for a little bit before that, but got that win. And usually you're free and easy after that. But man, I think you get that first win, kind of the pressure comes off, and then you want it again. I don't think there's a whole like taking the cap off. Maybe for some of these golfers, like a Scotty Scheffler when he got that first win in Phoenix and then goes on to win 255 events since. I think David Thompson's going to get himself molded into it. Great course history, a bit of form. I know missed cuts, but one of those missed cut was the Open along the way, so we can kind of throw it out the window. So yeah, I do love David Thompson this week.
Yeah, I think another solid shout out coming in on some bad form. You might be one of the only people to tip him, which is always nice. You know, it is cool to find this spot and looking at his underlying numbers, I see where you're coming from here. Like super accurate off the tee as of recent. I know he's missed his last two cuts, but again, has some solid iron play in his last couple starts. He had one spike performance with the putter. And he has a great course history here with a T12 and T22 in consecutive years here. So I totally see the angle on Davis Thompson. I think it's a huge number on a big talent.
Yeah, I think that's where we're at. This is an event where someone's got to go and get it. I mean, we
Yep.
saw Tom Kim get his, I think not his maiden, but he got a victory here at 20 years old. Lucas Glover out of nowhere. He was like 130th in the FedEx Cup standings before he grabbed that, played himself in the top 70, then won again. Like two victories, got himself in the Tour Championship, top 30. I think he was even like top 10 at that point. So many boosted points. Um, yeah, Aaron Ryan made him victory here. Like this is a place where these type of talents kind of emerge. Like potential stars of the sport. I'm not saying Lucas Glover, potential star. He's been around forever, but you got the Tom Kims, the Aaron Rise, uh, all those type of guys. I mean, it's a course where either like a young guy wins or like Kevin Kistner won here recently. Like it's a weird course and a weird event where it's kind of just up in the air. So why not take a chance at a 70-1 on what I believe to be a star talent?
Yeah, I agree.
All right, let's keep it rolling here, Jake.
Yep, I'm going to the well here. Christian Bezadenhout 70-1. I was on him last week. I mean, I've the form is just screaming, right? He's gained with the irons in 8 of his last 10. He's super accurate off the tee, and he has an elite short game. He has the exact recipes to succeed here. Three-time DP World Tour winner, so he knows how to get across the finish line. Hasn't happened for him yet on the PGA Tour. I think that this is a really, really good opportunity for him to get it done this week. On the season, 71st in strokes gained total, 155th off the tee, 120th on approach, 27th around the greens, and then 12th with putting. So, like I said, elite short game, but that approach number, right? I said it was 120th in the field or 120th on the PGA Tour, but he gains on the field in 8 of his last 10 starts. that number is heavily derived from how crappy they've been at the beginning of the season. His irons have completely turned a corner. He has the exact recipe to succeed here. He had a 22nd place finish last year here. He's made the cut in all four of his appearances at this event. I think that this is the time Bezuidenhout gets it done.
Yeah. Again, if you were to just blindly think of golfers that fit the course mold here, he'd be one of those names that definitely popped up.
Yeah.
Definitely a plotter type of guy with elite accuracy and great ball striking, great form to go along with it. And again, you talked about the irons being red hot, eight of what, gaining eight of his last 10. Like,
Yep.
it's hard to go about that. Golf is definitely a game of rhythm. And if you're gaining an 8 of 10, there's something going for you there. That's not, I mean, you can have great iron games or weeks, but again, this is relative to the field. So you're gaining on the field 8 of the 10 weeks. There's something to it. I'm trying to
Yeah.
get at here, and Bezuidenhout has it, and love the play.
Yeah.
All right. My next play here is a guy. I don't know if I've ever bet him in an outright sense. I hit him as a live like 25 to 1 a few years back, but that's Emiliano Grillo at 80 to 1. So he's been a really popular name across all betting cards for the last month and a half. And you had him in that playoff against Brian Campo, who still don't know how he's a two-time PGA Tour winner. And then, you know, people stayed on him, misses the Barracuda, and kind of people jump off. 3M Open, not the greatest performance, but man, I think this is a great course for Grillo as well. Talked about it 20th at 3M prior to that miscut at the Barracuda, 40th ISCO, lost the playoff John Deere, 73rd at Rock Classic, 19th at US Open, 24th in Canada, 16th Charles Schwab, 20th in Myrtle Beach. I played this event last season where he played 59th, currently 12th on tour, approximately the hole from 100 to 150, 16th in accuracies, 35th in ball striking, 40th on approach, 41st in par fours, 50th bogey avoidance. Looking for that putting number, 92nd in strokes gained putting from Bermuda, excuse me. So he's pretty much level there. That's pretty much average. Great accuracy, really good mid irons, good ball striker, 80 to 1. Let's see, 66th in FedEx Cup standing, so needs a hold position there. Man, every one of their brothers been on Grillo the last month and a half. I haven't, so might as well join the party now with now plus value. I mean, previous weeks he's been bet down to 40s, 50s, 60s, and now he's at 80 to 1 here. So might as well take my chance with a Grillo here at this event.
Yeah, I was between Grillo and the guy that I bet next, but I talked myself out of it just because of a different number that I'll talk about next, but also Grillo's course history, not the finest, but it's just, it makes so much sense, Nate. Like he is another guy that just fits this mold perfectly, and the number is just so big that it feels crazy to pass up. This is probably my number one FOMO, and then Robert McIntyre number two. But I was on Grillo, as you mentioned, at the Deer when he lost in a playoff. I was on him last week at the 3M where he finished 20th. He's playing some really good golf, and to have such a big number on a guy that fits, he's coming to a course that fits his game super well. I don't know why he hasn't played well here in the past. That's why I talked myself out of it, but I can totally see him having a great week this week. So I I can see it. I see the image, Nate.
Yeah, so everyone has their guys, and I don't advise this whatsoever. But in the background, I always bet Tom Kim and Kevin Yu, even if it's just a little bit of money, just so the FOMO doesn't eat me alive if I don't have money on Tom Kim and he goes on to win a golf event more so than Kevin Yu. But yeah, definitely don't advise that if you're looking for your bankroll or anything like that. But if you're like being scared, like Tom Kim definitely could win this event. I mean, I say that every single week, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, he's very popular. One here 2 years ago, 3 years ago, at this point, whatever it's been. But yeah, anyways. So yeah, Jake, I think it's your turn. Who's this guy you're alluding to?
Yep. It's Chris Kirk at 100 to 1. Uh, Honestly, I just took him over Grillo because the number was a little bit bigger. He's coming in on some great form. He had a 12th at the US Open, a T2 at the Rocket Classic. So you mentioned the stat before, finishing top eight at the Rocket Classic, has had some success here. 64th at the John Deere, missed the cut at the Open, and then a T14 last week at the 3M. He's extremely accurate off the tee. The irons are super spiky, and by God, you just need Chris Kirk to make putts. He's one of those that when his irons are on, it's like Hideki Matsuyama. We talk about it all the time. He could stick it to a foot. This is what Kurt Kitayama did last week. It was incredible to watch. He put himself in bad situations off the tee because he's inaccurate occasionally, but he saved himself with these second shots that he just puts the ball 2 to 3 feet from the cup and it's a tap in. And that's what Chris Kirk has the ability to do. He's gained with the putter in 4 of his last 5. That's what I'm hanging my hat on here. Um, what's it called? History here. He hasn't played this event in a couple years, but he does have a T11 back in 2018 and a T22 back in 2012. He's played this tournament a handful of times, so not the greatest course history, but on the season, he's 47th on approach, which is a great number, 81st around the greens, which is solid. I'll spare you the other numbers because they're really, really ugly, but as of recent, his form is just kind of leading into it, and I feel like Chris Kirk is one of those guys who just wins a tournament like a season. I think he won in 2023 at the Honda, last year at the Century. I think that this is the event for Kirk to get it done this year.
Yeah, again, it's so hard to pinpoint the Kirk week, right? Because it can
Yeah.
happen out of anywhere. I was on him at the Honda in 23, wasn't on him at the Century. I don't think anyone at all was on him at the Century, winning that event out of probably the last guy into the field. No, he won the event, the Honda, so got it that way. But anyways, like you mentioned it, those irons can be like the best in the world if they are on at any given week. And again, don't need a putter because he puts it within a foot of the hole. We've seen it time and time again with Kirk. Recent form is really good. And if you're looking at what Gator Sports Betting put out there, he was the top, what was he, eighth or sixth at the Rocket Classic. So he fits that mold as well. Big number. It's a big number for a guy who can come out here and once the irons are on, there's no stopping him. He can run away with this tournament very easily or chase down like a back nine because those irons can be that good.
Yep.
All right, Jake. I think the final two guys are long shots. I think we both have
We
crossed the
align.
same two guys. So let's talk about the first guy here. It's a Canadian and somehow finds himself as the second most tipped guy on the chart currently, and that's Adam Svensson, 171. I think we have the same number on him,
Yep.
Jake. So he's been very good at this event the past 2 seasons, and that's really where my research began with him. Seventh in both 2024 and 2023. Made the cut in 2022. 14th last week at the 3M Open. Prior to that, a ton of missed cuts. So I didn't think there was an edge to Adam Svensson when I started doing my research because, I mean, the course history was okay. And then a good week last week. But prior to that, it's been pretty awful recently for Adam Svensson on the PGA Tour. I mean, the guy's fighting for a card. I think he's 162nd in the FedEx Cup standing. So without a victory this
Yep.
week, he's not securing himself a card for next season. He'll have to fight through the fall series or something like that to get a card for next year. The stats tell you 25th in 150 to 175. That's proximity. He's 26th in 100 to 150 proximity, 27th in accuracy, 41st grade regulation. He's 44th bogey points, 45th on approach, 71st in ball striking, and 130th in both strokes gained putting Bermuda and off the tee. And the birdie number is at 154, so that's not ideal. But it's a big number. Big number. This guy has great course history here. Great mid iron player, very good accuracy off the tee, and he's fighting for his life this week. And that's really what got me over the edge for Alex Svensson. I don't know where it's got to be the back-to-back seven places that got people really interested in him because I don't know where
Yeah.
else he would be the second most tipped guy in the chart. Beyond that, it's not like the stats aren't screaming at you. Like if you run a model, he's not going to really pop unless you're looking for him because of course history. So it's got to be the course history. But anyway, I like guys this week who are fighting for their life for either a card or play next week, and Alex Svensson definitely fits that mold.
Yeah, what I loved about Svensson, like you said, T14 at the 3M last week, so he's coming in on like good form in that sense, like very, very recent good form because it's been an abysmal season for him. His next best finish was a T24 at the Corrales Punta Championship, and that should tell you all you need to know. But on the like when you look at Svensson's player profile, he is a horrific putter, like
Yes.
notoriously bad. If you look at his splits over this tournament, he's gained in his last three with the putter
Oh,
an
wow.
insignificant matter. 1.73 strokes per round last year, 1.32 strokes per round the year before that, and then half a stroke per round the year before that one. So it might just be something about these greens that Svensson is comfortable. He's figured something out. I don't know what it is, but he hits fairways, he has the iron play, and there's something about these greens that just cooperate with him. And I think that's what I love most about him. And it's obviously a huge number next to his name.
Yeah, if Adam Svensson were to go on to win this golf event, this would probably be, in terms of like not member wise, but the biggest win in community win in golf track tip trackers history. Like I don't know what
Yeah.
the biggest one would be, but usually it's like like Aaron Rye last year at 35 to 1. Minwoo Lee was one this year when he won Houston at 40 to 1. But a 170 to 1 with that many people on him would be massive. Books would hate to see it coming, right? But
Yeah, we'd all get limited at the same time.
yeah, it'd be a fun one. It would definitely be a fun one, be the biggest number I've ever hit outright. But yeah, there's definitely an edge to it. Like you said, I didn't know about those underlying strokes game putting like per this event on these greens. So that's something to look forward to, and everything else lines up good for Svensson. I mean, two back-to-back top sevens here, or I guess exactly sevens, tells you the story.
Yeah.
All right, Jake. So our final play this week is a guy I absolutely love this week, and I probably shouldn't be this confident about it, but it's Ben Coles at 250 to 1. Is that where you got him to?
I got him at 200.
200. So a little added dollars for me at 250. But man, this guy popped in my model. He's third on tour in accuracy and green regulations. He's ninth on proximate hole from 150 to 175, 13th in par four average scoring, 15th in bogey avoidance, 16th in ball striking, 23rd on approach, 47th in proximity 100 to 150, 66 off the tee, 93rd in birdie or better, 117 in strokes gained putting Bermuda. 20th last week at the 3M Open. Prior to that, 8th at the ISCO, 44th at the John Deere, 78th at the Rocket Classic. Missed the cut here a season ago, 54th in 2022. So at least two events he's played this here. Currently 151 in the FedEx Cup standings. So again, he needs a victory this week to secure a card. But man, the stats tell me that Ben Coles wins this event by a touchdown. So I'm going with it. Let's get that alt spread going. We're already at 250 to 1. Let's get Ben Coles by 3.5 to win this event. Give me if a book will give me, what are we looking for with the added spread? Give me 1,000 to 1. All right. One of the books. Come on, let's do it.
Reach out to Nate, sign him up for that one. But yeah, I'm with you on Coles. Extremely accurate. Irons are incredible. Honestly, the putter is just in God's hands. That's what we need. If the putter is cooperating, the rest of the game's there for Ben Coles. Coming in on some good form, gained around the green in three of his last four starts. Just please let the putter get hot, please.
Yeah, again, we basically have 3 or 4 more events to get a crossover victory this season, Jake. We've
Yeah.
yet to have one. I think we've had one at least the last 2 years of doing this together.
Yep.
We need to get one. I don't want to put our faith into a fall series because man, that fall series coming up, that is a
Crapshoot.
crapshoot. Do you think? I mean, you think of Corn Ferry Tour, DP World Tour, those type of things. Like the fall series falls into that same realm. But yeah, let's cross over with either Svensson or Ben Coles. I'll take that this week.
I'll take either one. I won't get greedy.
Yeah, I'm fine with either.
Yeah.
If we can get like a Ben Coles and Svensson are like both three clear of the field, and we're stressing over those two on the final 4 holes, something like that. They both go to a playoff like stress free. Let's go with that. That'd be fun.
We could dream, Nate.
Yeah, we can. It was like yeah, going back to the Sony, I had Nick Taylor on an outright, and then I added Nico Echevarria at like 45 to 1 live going in that week just because I saw him charging. They both go to a playoff stress free. I mean, one was going to pay a bit more money at 120 to 1 with Nick Taylor. But those are the things. Same thing, Nick Taylor in Canada. I had him and Tommy
Fleetwood.
Fleetwood in 2023, like go to a playoff. Like, give me one of those. This year's been, I mean, started really well for me. First round leaders have treated me well, but man, I've been dry for a while. So let's have some stress-free fun this week. Take me back. Let's just get it done. Let's hit some cruise control and add a bit to the bankroll to pad the stats for the final report come here in a month or so, Jake.
Sign me up.
There we go. All right, guys, that's it for this week's show. We'll be back next week. DP World Tour is finally back in action. I guess technically they have been in action with the Open and all of that, but man, they're back for their back nine. This is where it gets fun because we're going to finish off here the PGA Tour. We'll get a bunch of PGA Tour European-based guys heading overseas to finish things off. We're going to have some big events in the PGA Tour staying there, and the British Masters coming up. Next week's events, I think in Scotland. Like this is it. This is the cream of the crop. DP World Tour. It's gonna be fun over there. We still have the Corn Ferry Tour Challenge Tour going strong, finishing their seasons off here with Andrew on the website. LPGA final major this week. Be sure to check things out there. Usually I do add a little bit of tidbit about that since I did an article as well. So let me load that up here, Jake. But while I'm doing that, Jake, you been doing anything fun? I know we missed last week. You got any plans here? Summer's winding down, man. We're almost into what's this? July, August. We got a month left essentially of summer. Basically, what the summer solstice or fall solstice is in September, but Either way,
Yeah.
anything fun to finish off your summer here?
Yeah, I mean, we're recording this podcast on Tuesday because I was playing in a golf outing on Monday at Richmond County Country Club in Staten Island, New York. So that was awesome. And then obviously, Nate, we've got Ryder Cup creeping up. Crazy stuff. It's going to be awesome. I know we're definitely both going to have some leading content. I know I've been slacking on the articles, just life's gotten in the way, pretty busy there. But getting married in a couple weeks after that, I'm looking forward to picking back up on the articles, writing some fun stuff about the Ryder Cup, and shooting it with you, Nate. We're gonna have some podcasts, and maybe we'll bring on some guests and have a good fall swing and season leading into the Ryder Cup and into the fall season.
Jake, I was in upstate New York a few days ago. Wife and I went car shopping. We were on the way back, and I stopped to get gas at a gas station, and I had a Master shirt on. And car pulls up next to me, and I see him fumbling around. He puts a hat on, comes out. I'm like, "What's this guy want?" And he had a Bethpage Black, what was it, 2009 U.S. Open hat on. And
Yep.
he's like, I had to put this hat on because I saw your shirt." And I was like, "Oh yeah." And then we started talking about golf, and of course, I'm like, "Hey, I'm going to the Ryder Cup, at Bethpage here soon." He's like, "No way, I live 3 minutes away from the golf course." So I started talking to the guy, and he's like, I want to, Airbnb my house for the week, but the wife won't let me. And he told me the dollar number that he expected, but he's like, that's kind of low. That dollar number was really big to me. But yeah, it was weird. It's weird how, these connections just wearing a shirt like that. And the guy lives next to the course, and he's like, yeah, I was there in 2009 and 2000, I think it was at 17 when Kepka won there.
Yep.
But yeah, really cool stuff. But going back to the AIG Women's Open real quick, guys, before we hop off here, I just need to make some mentions here. We're playing in Scott or Wales for the first time ever at Royal Porthcawl Golf Club, 49th play of the AIG Women's Open. If you're looking for some information on that, I have an article as well with my full betting card. Titanic has an article with his full betting card on the website as well, WeKnowFans.com. Just a few notes here. I'm playing Gino Thetical 11-1, and I need to thank Lottie Wood or Wode for opening her first major ever at 6.5-1, which is absolutely insane. I know she's one of the best amateurs we've seen in a very long time, probably since Lydia Ko. But man, 6.5, you're over
That's nuts.
Lydia Ko, you're over genothetical, like the two best women in the world. So I'm getting 11-1. I was praying I was getting a 12 on Thetical, but I'll take 11 every day of the week here to win this golf event. But man, Lodi Wood is going to be a problem for a very long time. I mean, think back, I think Lydia Ko won her first major at like 18 years old or something. But either way, from there we're gonna play Cho, who's my favorite play of the week at 30-1. Absolutely love what she brings to the table. I know the links isn't really the strongest thing here, and her success at the Open compared to the other majors is not quite there. But her form is elite. Everything else goes along with it. So I love that number at 30-1. And I'm coming here with Ryan Yin at 35-1. I know I'm playing a few shorter numbers, but man, she is probably the best iron player on the LPGA tour. Love her game. A bit of bad form coming this week with a miscut the Monday Evian Championship, but bet affects us 35-1. Runner up here a season ago. So add that to the tally as well. Love that number. And then I'm going to play at least one long shot. Sarah Schmelzel at 125-1. Just a great scrambler of the ball, 11th there, 35th in total driving, 37th tee to green. Matching up 49th recently at the Monday. She was 28th last week in Scotland and 5th at Dow Championship, which was a team event. But yeah, earlier this year, 14th at U.S. Women's Open and 6th at the Chevron Championship, both majors. So a big number for someone with some great performances at the other majors throughout the season. But yeah, guys, final major of the LPGA season. If you're looking for some golf, it's going to be a great week. It's one of those weeks where you can wake up, turn on the golf channel. You have the women's major, the AIG Women's Open, excuse me, on in the morning time. Then it'll roll into, the afternoon where we have the Wyndham Championship. We have Corn Ferry Tour this week, the Hotel Planner Tour. I know we don't get that on the golf channel, but a lot of great golf. Yeah, I'm really excited about things. And yeah, you mentioned the Ryder Cup gets me fired up, Jake. We got about a month and a half until we're there, so it's it's still a lot of fun. I haven't hit a outright in quite some time, but still doesn't mean that it's not fun along the way.
Yeah. And what better time than this week, Nate?
I
Let's
I
do
love
it.
it. words of affirmation, right? I'm gonna wake up in the mirror, the whole thing, like you are powerful, you are strong. I'm gonna be like, you are gonna hit all right this week.
Yep.
All right, Jake, where can people find you on social media?
Yep, you can find me at DJ Freeman on Twitter. My outright card is posted there, but be sure to reach out to Nate or myself to get you in the Discord. Completely free, no hidden paywalls, access to everything once you're in there. A great growing community there that's going, talking about all things golf, also NASCAR and soccer channels in there as well for you guys to, if you're interested in that. Exclusive content from Nate and myself, first round leaders, matchup plays, community wager tracker, all the stuff I mentioned before. Like I said, reach out to Nate or myself. We'll get you in there. A completely free resource to have at your fingertips. I highly recommend you do so.
Yeah, the NFL season right around the corner. I'm sure we have a football channel we get going in there. If you're looking for, if you want to come in and start a cricket channel or a badminton channel or something that you are, you bet and you are passionate about, we'll definitely make a channel for you. So hop in there. Great tool to have at your fingertips. A lot of great stuff. So be sure to check that out. You can follow myself, Nate, on Twitter at WKF Nate. Be sure to follow We Know Fantasy on all forms of social media at We Know Fantasy. Be sure to visit We Know Fantasy Conference and more fantasy sports content. Until next time, guys, we'll see you.